Welcome back to Bitter Pill, the cozy corner of the internet where I read you stories as you go about your merry day. So grab that drink, find your comfort, or embrace the hustle of the day and enjoy the stories I have for you. And today we have a little story from HR. Or rather, about HR. HR says the only place available to pump is a bathroom. I'll be returning to work soon, so I asked HR what accommodations will be made for pumping. And that's pumping milk for those who are unaware. HR said unfortunately the only place available at the moment is the bathroom, and sorry for the inconvenience. I am annoyed at this response as I was recently in the office to pick up something and there were about 5 empty offices. I'm also confused that he would think a bathroom is an appropriate accommodation in the first place. I'm trying to decide if I should go directly to my boss about this or if I should send HR a professionally crafted response stating why pumping in a bathroom is unsanitary and illegal, or both. I also work at a law firm, which makes me think he hasn't discussed this with anyone else before sending that email. And as I said before, this is an updated and completed story, so we'll move straight to the update. This update came a day after the original post. Thank you all for the kind words, validation, and advice, as I surprisingly got no support from the female figures in my life, my aunt, cousin, mother, and sisters, who mainly told me to not say anything because they could make me come in the office immediately, multiple days a week, or said it wasn't a big deal and I'm overreacting. I feel like there really isn't anyone outside of Reddit that understands my point of view on this, or maybe I can't express it properly. But anyway, I sent the email to HR citing the law and providing links stating it is unsanitary to prepare food in the bathroom and that it is legal requirement, and I tagged my boss. Then my boss responded, also tagging the firm manager, stating that the proper accommodations will be made and I will not have to use a bathroom. I haven't had any more contact with HR. My boss called me and apologized on behalf of HR and answered affirmatively when I told him there should be a conversation happening with HR about this incident. He confirmed there has been a conversation concerning this topic. I have to say that I am truly upset by HR's initial response, and I am very uncomfortable knowing that the firm may want to continue to employ someone so grossly incompetent and offensive. I'm not sure what could be done or if I am overreacting, but for the time in my over 8 years at this firm, I feel like I want to leave if nothing else is done. That's all I have for now. Now the second update comes 2 days after the first update and 3 days after the initial story. I received an email from management with my boss, the president, and all other high-level parties tagged, except HR, stating that HR told me was never the policy and that they have always provided appropriate accommodations to people with my needs in the past. They also apologized that I was ever told otherwise and want me to reach out to come up with specific accommodation that suits me. Turns out HR consulted no one about the policy and just came up with that response. He's new, by the way. Haven't heard from HR since. And that's the story, guys. HR fumbling. But let me know what you think in the comments, because honestly, this is a law firm. That should have never happened. I don't know how this guy slipped through the cracks and got a job at a law firm. And we're going to move on to another story. And our next story is about cheating, brocode, and providing an alibi. So let's go. I, M21, have known my friend Matt, M21, since we started college. We're in the same program and have been roommates since day one. Overall, I'd say Matt is a great guy. However, there is always an however. He has a terrible tendency to cheat. Throughout college, I think Matt had 5 or 7 different girlfriends, and each of those relationships ended because he would cheat. Back in January, he started dating his current girlfriend, Jen, 21, and has been with her far longer than any of the other previous relationships. From my interactions with Jen, I know she's a wonderful person. She's very polite, beautiful, and clearly devoted to Matt. For the past few weeks, Matt has also developed a close friendship with his anatomy lab partner, Cindy, female 21. It's become pretty clear to me and my other roommates, Kyle, M21, Robert, M22, and Omar, M20, that there is some romantic relationship between them. That would be Cindy and Matt. We've even all met Cindy as she came by our house a few times. Long story short, Matt has told me and the other guys that things between him and Cindy are moving fairly quickly and that Jen is completely in the dark about this. He told us that for the foreseeable future, he'll be spending a few nights hanging out at Cindy's place. Here's the issue. Jen and her roommates don't live that far from us, about a 7-minute walk. So there's a good chance she'll come by looking for him, according to Matt. Therefore, he wants us to make up excuses for his absences and potentially reassure Jen that he isn't up to anything bad. Kyle and Robert are fully on board with this, as they consider it the bro code. Omar is fully against this, and while he has not said he'll tell Jen, he has refused to lie for Matt and has been urging him to end things with Cindy. I would say I'm more neutral. I don't think what Matt is doing is appropriate, but I don't think it's my place to tell Matt how to manage his relationships. I told him that while I wouldn't seek Jen out and tell her what's going on, I wouldn't lie to her either about where he is, and I'll say I don't know instead. We all argued about this for a while, and the general gist of things is that Kyle, Robert, and Matt all think I'm being a bit of an ass for not being more cooperative. Aside from this, I don't think there's really much I can do. Moving to somewhere else is both economically and logistically unfeasible, so I think trying to avoid stirring the pot is my best bet. So, right off the bat, taking a neutral stance is taking a stance, and Omar is the only one there with a common lick of sense among all of you. Matt is a really bad boyfriend, partner, whatever you want to call it, and the other two and their bro code, no, that's really just bad behavior, and it's going to come back and bite them in the ass. But hey, let's move on to the next update. I'll start this update by saying Jen found out last night. Like Matt predicted, she came over to our house Tuesday evening. I saw her pretty quickly since I was also coming back from buying some food. She asked if I knew where Matt was, and I said I didn't know, because I genuinely didn't know at the time. She mentioned how he wasn't responding to her texts and that she was worried about him, and I felt pretty bad hearing that. Kyle, who was inside, came out at this point and said that Matt was in his anatomy lab, and then reassured her that he'll contact her once he's finished. She didn't seem entirely satisfied with that answer, but thanked us anyway and left. Once she was gone, Kyle told me that Matt was actually on a date with Cindy. Since Matt sometimes brings Cindy over, he'll text the house group chat before they come over to ensure that Jen isn't around. He did this on Tuesday night, and Kyle did alert him that Jen had stopped by looking for him, so he stayed over with Cindy on Tuesday night. Wednesday evening came around, only Omar and I were home. Kyle was at his girlfriend's house and Robert had an exam. Around 7 p.m, we got a text on the group chat from Matt saying he plans on bringing Cindy over at around 8:30, and he asked if Jen came by. I told him that I hadn't seen her and things were on as usual. I'll add that Omar has refused to respond to these specific text messages from Matt, so there was an expectation on me to clarify if Jen was here or not. A little after 8 p.m, Jen comes by with one of her friends, Carly, female 21. They asked us where Matt was since Jen hadn't been seeing him a lot lately. Before I could even say anything, Omar told them to come back after 8:30 and Matt should be home. Love you, Omar. They left and I did argue with Omar about his decision to tell them to come back since it was inevitably going to cause drama, but he didn't care. I did text Matt and told him about Jen potentially returning, but since he was driving, he didn't read my message. At this stage, I gave up trying to contact Matt and went up to my room. A little after 8:30, Matt walked in with Cindy, and not that long after, Jen and Carly returned. Omar let them in. Long story short, there was a lot of Jen yelling and Matt lying and apologizing. I didn't bother coming down since I could hear it all from my room. After about 10 minutes of this, Jen and Carly left. Matt sent Cindy home after this and was pretty pissed at what happened. I reminded him that I sent a text message, which he now saw, and Omar played dumb, acting like he didn't see Matt's message about him asking if Jen was home, but confirmed to him that he told Jen to come back after the first time she came because he didn't think Matt was dumb enough to go out with Cindy 2 nights back to back. Robert and Kyle came home after this, and I filled them in on what happened. There was definitely some tension in the house this morning, as Matt thinks this all could have been avoided had Omar been more helpful. He also partially blames Cindy for wanting to come over so often. Overall, Matt doesn't really seem to care that Jen found out and broke things off with him. He said that he'll try apologizing one more time, as he does prefer Jen to Cindy, and if she doesn't accept, he'll leave things as they are. As for Cindy, Matt has already told Kyle, Robert, and me this morning that his plan is to end things with her after December exams. He says that he wants to be single again by New Year's so he can have a fresh start. Kyle and Robert think this is pretty hilarious considering how much trouble he got into to be with her. Things have ended more smoothly than I thought, and I have made it abundantly clear to Matt to keep me out of his relationship woes. I have also asked Carly how Jen was holding up this morning as we share a class together. As expected, Jen was very upset about the entire ordeal, and she and her friends consider everyone at our house, aside from Omar, to be complicit and awful. Quick update. Kyle texted the group chat. His girlfriend knows and she isn't happy. See, what did I say about it coming around and biting them in the ass? This bro code in particular is toxic, unhelpful, deceitful, and just plain old stupid. I digress. Let's move on to the next update. Okay, so this update is more like a recap, so let's go through point by point. 1. Jen did not accept Matt's apology. She has indicated that she in fact never wants to see him again. 2. Matt is still with Cindy and he still plans on breaking up with her after exam season. According to him, Cindy is starting to feel pretty secure now that Matt is no longer with Jen and has expressed her desire to form a serious relationship with him. While he does feel a bit guilty, he thinks it's best for the both of them he end things with her before New Year's. Wow, Matt, really? And you too, Cindy. You knew Matt was in a relationship. Why are you messing with that boy? Moving on. 3. Despite feeling guilty, Matt has attempted to reactivate his Tinder account, but Kyle made him take it down. Kyle thinks it's too soon for Matt to do this since someone we know is bound to see him there, and according to Kyle, Matt needs to play up the angle that he's heartbroken about falling out with Jen. 4. Kyle has smoothed things over with his girlfriend by claiming he had no idea Matt was cheating. Robert backed him up on this and expressed that nobody aside from Matt knew. 5. While I did plan on telling Carly the truth about what was going on, considering how quickly Matt, Kyle, and Robert have been moving, I opted against this. Instead, I've told Carly that I also did not know about Matt's cheating. Yes, it's a lie, but since I was against Matt cheating, I don't think it's fair for me to go down with the ship, considering that both Kyle and Robert are getting off relatively scot-free. Apparently, I was convincing enough as Carly told me that while she herself doesn't think it's so bad, Jen will need time to process what went down, so it's best to give her space. Again, I get it. It isn't the most appropriate measure, but I really don't think I deserve to be in the splash zone. 6. Omar has expressed his strong disappointment in all of us, but at this stage his voice has become ambient noise, according to Kyle. To wrap up, since I'm fortunately visiting my parents this weekend, I get to be away from the drama and hopefully any potential fallout. Also, since it's relatively early, we'll have to wait and see if anything else happens, but I hope and pray the worst is over. Honestly, everyone in that house, except for Omar, are pieces of garbage. In fact, they are the shit beneath the garbage. All of them. Both the ones doing the cheating, the ones hiding the cheating, and the one pretending as if he's a neutral party. You are not neutral. You are just as bad as the rest. If not worse, because you're playing to be the nice guy, telling Carly that you didn't know when he fully knew everything and was complicit in the lie. So yeah, it's a household full of trash, except for Omar. Omar is the only one that comes out smelling sweet. But hey, I'll leave it there. Please, leave your comments in and tell me what you think about this situation. What do you think of the bro code? What do you think of the girl code? Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Bitter Pill, signing off.